Okay, welcome to the Lobo Den podcast. This is me, Giovanni Diaz. Today we're going to have on writer, comedian, also presidential candidate, Wolf Larson. Now, Wolf has written over 30 books, some of them including Pricks, Cunts, and Motherfuckers, a novel about New York City, 10 Penises in Your Ear, something about herpes. I don't know. And I think he slept with 500. I say it's like 480 something because I personally don't count blowjobs at sex. It's complicated. Anyways, so actually what happened was Wolf started doing comedy because his mom, who was 90, was doing an open mic, killing it at Kohl's and open mic. He's like, I can do this. We'll talk a little bit about Wolf. He used to work the boats, the docks in Alaska. So he'd work there, make a bunch of money, go travel. So he's been to like over 50 countries. So we'll talk about that. And that's with a lot of women he had sex with, including India, which he's a big fan of India, the country. So we talk a little bit. Wolf grew up in Hyde Park. So Hyde Park was black, white mix. He grew up with a lot of black people. He was kind of, a little out there. So he got in a few fights back in the day. You know, he had some neighbor cops. Actually, there's a story he tells me where he got into it with a dude. And he ended up being a cop, but he didn't know until afterwards. We'd get into the time he got into the fight with all these skinheads. Him and some other protesters went into Market Square, and there was about 2,000 members, I believe, of the Klan that they got into it. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So him growing up in Hyde Park, his novels, his travels to the world. Also, we talk a little bit at the end about some of the women in his life. He is married, a liberal marriage, as he calls it. He did have to come back to the States due to some issues. But one thing he did say, he tries to avoid women crazier than me, and that's something I should probably do. So yeah, check out this episode with Wolf Larson. Here we go, Lobo Den. All right, Wolf, I'm going to start recording. So this is the Lobo Den podcast. This is Giovanni Diaz. Today I have on my guest is Wolf Larson.
Hey, how you doing there, man?
What's up? Wolf, all right, let me introduce you a little bit. If people don't know who you are, you do comedy. You've been doing comedy in Chicago. How long have you been doing comedy in Chicago, right? Or,
yeah.
You know what? If you want, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Wolf Larson. I'm a writer and I'm a comedian, and I'm running for president for the year 2020. And I've written over 30 books, including Pricks, Cunts, and Motherfuckers, a novel about New York City, and also 10,000 Penises in Your Ear, and lots of other works.
Sounds like a rap song.
Yeah, and Travel Around the World, Why Not? And Unalaska, Alaska. And I'm also running for president. I'm basically like, I pull out my Polish sausage and I urinate all over both political parties. And the way I got into comedy a couple years back is I saw my mother,
Your
right?
mom, right? Yeah.
Yes!
I heard this on Palm Pilots. I tried to listen to most of it, but see, yeah. So, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, so my mom is up on stage, right? She's nearly 90 years old. And my mom, she's like, here's like these 20-something-year-old people and a whole audience of them. And she's saying, when you want to insult somebody, don't say fuck you, say eat a pile of shit, because fucking is beautiful. That's what my mom said, but it was way more funny when she said it. You know, when she said fucking is good, I know, I made 3 kids, there's one of them right there, and she points to me, and all these 20-somethings in the audience are watching my mom on stage, and she was crushing it, you know. Are we doing the real thing now?
Yeah, we're recording.
Oh, hey, yeah, yippee.
Yeah. So okay. So all right. So this was so that you saw your mom. This was at Kohl's. You don't mind?
Yeah, we can mention Kohl's.
If people don't know, Kohl's is I've never done Kohl's, and I know I should have done. Kohl's is one of the oldest open mics probably in the city. Maybe the oldest. I don't know. It's a staple in the comedy scene. What is it? There's usually a real audience there. It's been around forever. It's in Logan Park or Wigan Park or something. I'm from the suburbs, so I don't know the city as well. What got you to go to the mic? You looked it up online, or what were you doing at that? What were you doing at that time?
Okay, that time I was visiting Chicago. I was living in South America, but I was visiting Chicago, and my mom, man, she's she just said, hey, let's go to this open mic. And it was with a friend of hers and my mom and me. And I'm watching my mom up on stage. And I saw, it was just a lot of fun, you know, watching my mom just crush in front of these 20-something-year-olds, talking about how good fucking is. You know, when you got almost a nearly 90-year-old woman talking about how good fucking is, you know, it's beautiful. You know, she's like the Queen of England's age, you know, talking about fucking is good, you know, don't say fuck you, tell him to eat a big plate of shit instead, you know. It was hilarious.
Why'd your mom do the open mic? Was she doing open mics? She just did once?
No, man, my mom, she does open mics too, you know, like back then especially, she's doing a lot of open mics, and she was, you know, she's funny. My mom's funny.
She was always funny when you were a kid, or as she older, like... Is your mom? You're not Polish, are you? Right, Larson. That's not a Polish name.
Well, you know, my real name is something else.
Oh yeah,
So,
I forgot.
So Wolf Larson is my pen name. See, Wolf Larson is the main character in the Sea Wolf, right? And the Sea Wolf, written by Jack London, occurs in the Bering Sea of Alaska. A lot of it. And at that time, I was working on fishing boats in the Bering Sea of Alaska.
Okay.
So I thought that name was cool because I could relate to it, because, you know, here we got, you know, this book, The Sea Wolf, that occurs in the Bering Sea of Alaska, and I'm working on fishing boats in the Bering Sea of Alaska.
Okay.
And so Wolf Larson was somebody that I could relate to. So that's why I used Wolf Larson as my pen name.
How'd you end up in Alaska? How long were you in Alaska, the fisherman?
Well, I worked on the fishing boats only for a year and a half.
How did you get to the boat? Where were you living before you went? You were in Chicago, then you went to the boats, or somebody had a friend? How'd you get up there?
So here's what happened. Okay, I grew up in South Side Chicago, right?
Okay, South Side.
And then I left at 18. Okay. And then I go up to Madison, Wisconsin for 2 years, studied there. Then I switched my studies to New York City, and I start studying in New York City. I get my BA.
What were you studying?
I studied English literature.
Okay.
And then I came to Chicago. I wrote the first novel that I ever wrote, and then I threw it in the garbage. And then I go off to California, right?
You just didn't like it?
Oh, it sucked.
It sucked.
So it was my first novel I ever wrote. And then I think the tentative title was "Do Black Guys Have Bigger Dicks?" Right? So
I would say yes, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so. I grew up in like the schools I went to were like 90% black. I was in the shower with a dozen black dudes and a Jew.
But that was a young age for them, right?
Yeah, maybe they get bigger dicks when they get older. But anyway, then I go to San Francisco, California.
And they're on Iraq too.
Yeah, Iraq, maybe the black dudes in Iraq got big dicks.
No, not Iraq, but on Iraq, I'm saying in the shower.
Oh yeah, man, that would be something, you know. If you suddenly got a woody.
But you've seen more than me, so okay, maybe not. All
well, a couple of them were big, man, but the ones in the shower, I don't know. Anyway, that was a Kenwood. By the way, I went to high school with R. Kelly, but I don't think he was in the shower that day.
What, at the same year or how?
Yeah, man. We went to high school at the same time. And
what year did you go to? If you don't mind, what year did you go to?
I graduated '86 from Kenwood.
Okay.
And I don't know whether he graduated or not.
What, like when you were a sophomore, he was the same year as you, or?
He might have been. You know, the thing is,
do you remember seeing him, or you didn't know who he was at the time, or do you remember seeing him in R. Kelly?
Well, I don't remember R. Kelly.
Okay.
The only thing that I know is that what R. Kelly and I have in common, we both like to pee on people. But then so anyway, I wrote the first novel, right? Throw in the garbage. I go to San Francisco, California, and I'm working odd jobs to get by. And then this guy I just met on a beach, right? Not a bad looking guy, you know. Whatever. You know, women have 3 holes, men have 2. You know what I'm talking about. So then I meet this guy on the beach, and he's telling me all about jobs in Alaska, because he had just come from Alaska. And he says that he worked in a cannery. This is where you take the fish guts out and chop the fish heads off and all that stuff, and you package it. And he was telling me, but he had spent all his money in a bar. But he said on the fishing boats, you don't spend no money. So I was thinking, I said to him, well, maybe I should go work on a fishing boat. And then he said, well, the problem is they sink. And I was like, yeah, but I make more money. And he said, yeah, but how are you going to spend your money if the boat sinks and you're at the bottom of the ocean? So within 2 weeks, I was working on a fishing boat in Alaska.
Okay.
But speaking of big black dicks, I did see a big black dick at the Mission in Seattle. Because I was eating.
What's the Mission?
Mission is like the Headbangers. That's where you listen to the Headbanger talk about God and all that bullshit for 45 minutes.
Oh, I thought you meant like metal. Okay.
Yeah.
So is this like?
Yeah. So you got to listen to God for 45 minutes because you could eat. And
when was this?
I was in Seattle. I'm hitting the docks every day trying to get on a fishing boat for Alaska. and at the Fisherman's Terminal there in Ballard, which is close to Seattle. So anyway, but I got to eat at night.
I'm gonna move this a little bit since
Yeah.
you're facing me. I want the microphone facing you.
Okay, so so then I'm in the Mission at night. You gotta wait in line at the Headbangers, and I'm at the Headbangers, and he's talking. The Headbangers.
The Headbangers,
they talk about God.
people.
Yeah,
Okay.
man. And then they talk about God for 45 minutes so you can eat. And then so I'm listening to and the Headbanger. He's talking about God this and God that and God the other thing. And I'm going to the bathroom, right? I gotta pee. And then there's this dude. He's just exposing himself. This black dude, man. He had a third leg between his legs, man. And he's just like stroking his God-given wonder while the Headbangers talking about God and shit. Yeah, that was seeing was believing. But this guy could have been a porn actor if he wasn't so fucking ugly. But I didn't want nothing to do with that, because I don't have no use for no man's Polish sausage. You know what I'm saying? I like, the difference between men and women is that women have 3 holes and men have 2. I don't got no use
They
for
have tits too.
Women?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, but they also got 3 holes.
Dude, I don't know. I haven't counted in a while. But
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
It's been a while for me too,
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. I think since July since I've been with a chick. I was with some strippers and then I haven't drank. So then you went. So you were at the docks in Seattle, and then you finally got the hook up to Alaska.
I got out of fishing boat. And I worked on the fishing boats for a year and a half on a seasonal basis. So I would work on the fishing boats and then I'd go to Latin America, go traveling somewhere.
How on the fishing boats? What's the schedule like? Is it 1 month off? You guys work straight, don't you?
You work over 100 hours a week, and you're just working, and hopefully making money.
What do you mean by hopefully making money?
There's no minimum wage laws at sea.
But how is it based on how does it work on the boats?
Basically, the way it works on the boats is that you bend over and they fuck you up the ass with no Vaseline because there's no union.
Okay.
And that's why I stopped working on the fishing boats. I worked on the fishing boats for like a year and a half, seasonal basis, and then go back to Latin America.
How much would you make in a month? Okay, so how straight would you work on the boats? Would you work a month straight? Would you work a few weeks? How did it work? Because I know guys who went to fracking who did. I forget. It's like 7 days. It'd be I forget X amount of let's say a month or so, and they get a week off. How'd it work on the boats?
So it's a 3-month contract usually.
Okay.
But the thing about it's you just get screwed because there's no union. So then after a year and a half.
How do you get paid exactly?
Well,
okay,
a lot of times you don't.
Okay, so
you don't get paid. You get fucked up the ass.
But what is the structure though? Okay, you're on the boat for 3 months. When you sign up for the contract, what's the contract? This boat has to make X amount of money. Everybody gets a percentage. It's not hourly. How does it work on the boat? Depends on the fish.
You get paid on a percentage, but the thing is, it's a 3-month contract.
Okay.
So you're at sea for long periods of time.
Okay.
I didn't mind working my ass off. That was fine.
Okay.
I didn't mind being at sea for long periods of time with a bunch of ugly dudes. That was fine. I didn't mind that it was dangerous. What made me mad was that a lot of times we didn't get paid. I mean, if you work 3 months, 100 hours a week, you want some money. I mean, you want some money.
Is it from the captain? Do people own these companies? How does it?
Tyson Foods owns one group of fishing boats.
Fishing boats, right?
The boats sink. The sister ship of the boat that I was working on sank just a little while before.
How cold is it out there?
You're dead. If you wind up in the water, you're dead in 15 minutes.
Yeah, because I was watching something.
You don't suffer for long.
If somebody gets in the water, you don't go after them, right? Or maybe you throw something, but you don't. If somebody got to the boat, you just let them go, or you throw. Nobody goes out there to get them, or do you have any situations like that where you're in a boat where somebody fell off on your boat, or no?
Yeah, I got friends at the bottom of the sea.
Oh, okay.
The thing is that usually happens on the crab boats.
Okay.
And the crab.
What were you guys fishing for?
We were on a factory trawler.
Okay.
I was working.
Is it a bunch of different type of fish, or is it?
Yeah, it's like basically you got a whole bunch of fish coming down the conveyor belt. I'll be working in the factory. I'm too stupid to be a fisherman. Okay. So all these fish are coming down the belt. You grab the fish, it's still swirling in your hand, right? So and you're chopping the fish head off, and it's moving. Now you have to cut it right because you don't want to get the eggs. You don't want to get the roe. So now the fish ain't too happy about having his head chopped off. You know what I'm saying? So it's moving around while you're trying to chop it. You got to chop off the head just right. So you're chopping its head off, and you're like, "Come on, calm down, fish. I'm just chopping your head off." So then you throw the head of the fish onto one conveyor belt.
Okay.
And then the body goes on a different conveyor belt, right? And we're going to be using the body. Now, the bodies like swishing, all these fish bodies are swishing around the conveyor belt looking for their heads. And
That's
then,
funny.
then another conveyor belt has got all the heads on it. And the heads are all open and closing, and like they're saying, "Fuck you, assholes! Fuck you, assholes!" You know, because they don't seem too thrilled about having their heads chopped off. And then after 16 and a half hours of this, then you go to bed and you dream about,
Fish.
Yeah, man, you dream about fish and your hands move in the rhythms of the fish. Anyway, what I didn't like about the fishing boats, none of that bothered me.
Okay.
There was this other thing where you chop, there's this thing called the guillotine, where you chop the heads off the big fish, and then you rip the guts out of the thing, and fish guts are all over you. That didn't bother me. What bothered me was this. We got screwed. I mean, there was no union. Sometimes you work your ass off, you don't get hardly paid, and we got screwed. But on the docks, see, because I stopped working on the fishing boats, and I started working on the docks. And if I could get 100 hours a week in the busy season on the docks, and there's a union, I could make some bank. And then I could work like 2.5 months real hard in Alaska and then go fly off to Paris, France, go fly off to Tokyo, Japan, go fly off to Rio de Janeiro. And man, I'll tell you, my life was great.
So you would,
when I was not in Alaska.
You'd work the 100 hour, you'd work the Alaska shift, right? Make all this money and then go, like on a fuck fest, basically, right? Or... Because I don't know if you mentioned earlier, but I heard on the podcast, you've had sex with over 500 women. You got the number?
Yeah. Now look.
501?
It depends what you mean by fucking. Because, remember when Bill Clinton...
This is my definition is going to be insertion, at least 5 pumps. One insertion, I don't count it, but if you at least 5 pumps, you don't have to come. But
if you don't
in
include,
a vagina.
If you don't include blowjobs...
I don't include them.
Okay, then it's only 480 something.
480 something here. Okay.
Now, if you include blowjobs,
I personally don't. I don't know what the
right. Well, Bill Clinton said, hey, I never had sex with that woman. Like that was wasn't that weird, man? Like all the terrible things that Bill Clinton did, and then they're going to impeach him over a blowjob. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Bill Clinton's any worse than a Republican. To me, they're all the same, But yeah, man. So the thing about women for me was that look.
How old were you? How old were you when you were trying?
I was in my 20s, man. I was in my 30s and 20s and 30s. But the thing is this. In Dutch Harbor, Alaska, a beautiful woman is a female of your own species who says yes.
It's a
female, own
I
species, yes, that's a beautiful woman. Oh, yeah. So when you go by that standard of a beautiful woman, female, same species, and she says yes, to me, all women are beautiful.
So there's not a lot of attractive women in Alaska, is what you're saying, or you'll put your dick in anything? Am I miss Alaska? Am I miscalculating what you're saying?
Well, you asked me if I put my dick in anything. I have not put my dick in a sheep yet. Bah!
Any women?
But right now I'm horny enough to, because it's been a while. When I'm in Chicago, I don't get laid as much.
Okay.
I'm short. So in Chicago, Chicago is like, women are like, okay, is he the same species? Check. Is he a male? Check. Is he 6 feet tall? Check. See, and I'm not 6 feet tall. Now, I'm not.
How tall are you, Wolf?
I'm 5'6", man.
Okay.
Yeah. So, no, that's cool. The women should fuck whoever they want to fuck. So if the women here don't want to fuck me, then I'll just fuck my hand. But I'll tell you that I got a lot of pent up, energy. Let's put it that way. You know what I mean? Yeah, energy.
Did you now these when you were so you would go to where would you go? South America, Japan. You named a few places. So you went to Japan.
I've been to over 50 countries in Latin America, the Middle East, Europe, and Asia. And
what were some of your favorite countries that you traveled to?
India was the most amazing one.
Have you one time, a few times? Or?
I went there twice.
How long were you there?
In total, I've been there most of a year.
Okay.
It was amazing. India is amazing. Like you're walking down the street and you can't turn your head without seeing something amazing. The streets are just crowded. There's just...
What different places? You traveled around India? Were you in a specific city or...
The first time I traveled all over northern India.
Okay.
The second time I stayed in Calcutta, because I was writing 2 books. One was a monologue called Blood and Semen, and the other one was Pricks, Cunts, and Motherfuckers.
That's the New York one, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I wrote the New York novel in Calcutta because I'd already lived in New York, and the book was in my head.
That was your favorite... That's your favorite book you wrote? I don't know. In Palm Pilots, I think they were asking you about the book. Is that...
The thing about Pricks, Cunts, and Motherfuckers...
That's the
it's
New York
very,
book.
very funny until something bad happens near the end.
Okay, and then people
But-
can find your books on Amazon.
Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com.
Okay, I'll put the links.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Okay, so you wrote that one about now. How do you write? Are you on a computer? Are you handwritten? Things have changed because you wrote these years ago. When did you write these?
Yeah, the style. I wrote them and I would write them usually like abroad. Sometimes I wrote them in New York City. The main thing was to keep going back to Alaska twice a year.
But this is on a word processor, or was like specifically, or is this paper? I don't know. I've never written like anything like a book. I just have my stupid
So in
jokes.
the beginning, I would write on paper and put it on the computer.
Okay.
And then after that, I would just.
What kind of computers was it back then? Not to date you, but
Yeah,
that was a
like-
while ago, right?
Yeah, man.
When did you write that book? Do you remember? When was it published?
I wrote let me put it like this. I stopped writing just a few years ago.
Okay.
Because what happened was I started developing medical problems from sitting at the computer all the time, and then
Really bad for you to sit that long.
yeah, and typing in all these books, and I started using voice recognition software. But that also started messing with my throat because I was talking all the time, and then after 30 books, I just said fuck this. But I've written novels and plays. I've written poetry, man. I got poetry books. I got plays. I got all kinds of stuff. I got a run-on sentence.
Okay.
I came up with the idea of writing this. It turned out to be a 70,000 word run-on sentence. I came up with the idea of writing that when I was in Amsterdam, Holland. Smoking a blunt.
Okay.
Yeah, or whatever they call it. Hell yeah.
Yeah, a blunt. Now, so you wrote what was the name of the New York book? Cunts,
Pricks, Guns, and Motherfuckers.
Pricks, Cunts, and Motherfuckers,
Yeah.
right? And you wrote that in Calcutta. What inspired that book? Being in New York? Is it a positive reflection? I don't. You don't have to give a full overview, but what's the gist of the book?
Okay, so this guy, the factory shuts down in the Midwest where he
Okay.
works, and he's a young man. He's like 20-something. The factory shuts down. Well, why should he stay there in some town where there ain't nothing? So he goes to New York City at 20-something. Now, he looks like a conservative, clean-cut white man, but he's actually this really obscene guy that will just fuck anything, okay? And basically, that's what he does. He goes to New York City, he fucks everything. He also looks, the way he sees New York, to me, New York City is just an absurd. In his brains, he's just mocking everything as he's going. But he's like the guy that's wearing, and he winds up working in an office. So he's the conservative looking guy in a suit who's exactly the opposite of what he looks like. So, there's that going on,
Okay.
Yeah, he also winds up, but anyway, he some other stuff too happens. Like, it's written at a time before interracial dating was accepted in America.
Okay.
So it's written in the late 20th century. It's New York City in the late 20th century before gentrification. So he meets this black woman.
Is this supposed to be the 70s? I don't know when. See,
Yeah.
I was born in '84, so when
So
I was
it's-
growing, everything interracial was fine, basically. Yeah.
So
I went in. I graduated high school, and I don't even remember when, but that wasn't a thing for me. So when did the '80s interracial stuff was fine for dating? Basically,
and
I feel?
basically, no. I mean, like here in Chicago, here in this neighborhood, I wound up
We're in Hyde Park.
hitting a black man because he was giving me a hard time while I was with my girlfriend who was black.
Okay.
And no, I don't go.
You know
around,
what
I don't
years
go
this
around
was?
hitting black men all the time, but the guy was
I
mouthing
usually
off.
don't. Uh-huh.
So then I was
Usually.
charged with assault and battery and stuff, but a whole bunch of people saw it and they saw that the black man was being aggressive,
Uh-huh.
But it turned out the black guy turned out to be a cop.
Oh wow! So you punched a cop.
I didn't know he was a cop. I just thought he was an asshole. I mean, he wasn't wearing.
So can you vote? Did you get a felony for that?
No, I beat it.
Oh, that's
I beat
good.
it because
Witnesses, or how'd you?
lots and
When-
lots of witnesses.
when was
They
this?
saw
Is this the
this guy.
80s or the
yeah,
90s,
man, they
80s?
saw this black guy come up, and he's
So what happened? You're
mouthing
with your
off.
girl. You're with your girl.
Yeah.
You and this girl been dating for a while, or
Yeah, it was my girlfriend, my high school sweetheart.
Okay.
But the thing was, maybe the reason that he came up and messed with me, it might not have had anything to do with my girlfriend. He had known me from before, and he didn't like me.
Okay.
So it might have
Before he was a cop, or do you know?
No,
maybe.
I didn't know he was a cop.
Oh, okay.
I just thought he was an asshole. I mean, he wasn't wearing a uniform. How are you supposed to tell the difference? You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So then,
I just had trouble with the police a few days ago.
what happened? Well, all right. Well, let's finish with. So this guy, you're with your girlfriend, and then what happened? You guys are in public, walking on the street, the mall. Where you guys?
No,
at?
man, we're sitting, we're eating lunch together, and this guy come up and
Eating outside, inside,
we're eating inside
eating inside. Just okay.
in my high school
At the high school.
in Kenwood,
Okay.
where I went to school. With
Oh,
R.
so you were in
Kelly.
high school when this happened?
Yeah.
Okay,
But I
okay.
was 17, but they can charge you as an adult when you're 17.
Okay.
But I didn't know the guy was a cop, man. If I knew the guy was a cop, I would have
So,
if I knew he was a
did
cop.
he come up to you?
Look, he was all aggressive and shit, mouthing off. Look,
like, what kind of stuff was he saying to you?
provocative shit.
Okay.
But look, if I had known he was a cop, instead of hitting him,
Did he put his hands on you, or
let me put it like this.
Okay.
If I had known he was a cop, instead of hitting him in the face, I would have kissed his ass. Because who the fuck wants trouble with the police? See, the thing is, the police, they should say they're the police. That's the problem. Because when I know somebody's a cop, like just the other day, like
I rarely punch cops in the face.
Yeah, man. See, just the other day I was in the subway, right? And I'm going to this poetry reading. This was on Tuesday.
What's the subway here? I live in the suburbs. The L
Blue
and
line.
all that stuff. Blue lines. Okay.
So, and then there's this two cops right where the turnstiles are, right? Now this makes me nervous because I also, in a separate incident, I almost got shot by the police in the subway in New York City for putting my hand in my pocket. So I'm putting my hand in my pocket to get my transit card out. And then the big dude, the big cop, there's a big cop and there's a little cop. You know, there's always some kind of game going on. Big cop says, go over there and have your
What
bag
race
checked.
Are they? Are they white, black?
All white.
Okay.
So
this is in New York. This
no,
is
no,
here, this
just
here.
now.
This
Just
is
now.
now.
2
Just
days,
recently.
3 days ago.
ago.
3 days ago. Tuesday.
Okay, on
not
the
Friday.
blue line.
So yeah. He says, go over there and have your bags checked. And that's when I said, it's my constitutional right not to have my bag checked. And that's when the
They could check your bag on the.
So then
They could check your bag on the.
Well, you're supposed to have the constitutional right to refuse. So then the white shirt one, you know, the supervisor, he rushes up, gets in my face and says something, constitutional rights, bullshit. And then he's, I'm afraid I'm gonna get beaten up, because I don't want no trouble. So then I said, I'm going this way, and I walked away, and I'm walking down that hallway towards the red line, right? Now, at one moment I was saying, please don't beat me up, please don't beat me up, please. But when I got far enough away, all of a sudden, that's when I discovered my balls. So then I started yelling, it's a police state, it's a police state, it's a police state. And all the other people on the subway, they're smiling because they don't like having like all these cops, you know, hanging around and you got to put your hand in your pocket to get your transit card. You could get shot by the police for putting your hand in your pocket. I should know. I almost got shot by the police in New York. Now, some people think it's a requirement to, like, in order to get shot by the police, that you have to be black. They're wrong. To get shot by the police, it helps to be black, but it's not a requirement.
No.
Keep your hands out of your pocket if you can. But what are you going to do when you're on the subway, man? You got to put your hand in your pocket to pull out your transit card, right? At the turnstile. Yeah.
So I mean, look, if I see a cop, I don't know. I'm not. My hands are on my steering wheel. I'm in the suburbs, so I don't deal with that. But you can't. They search you on the.
I always get selected for a quote unquote random check of my bag. Like I used to look like not very presentable.
What do you wear when you're on the subway?
Okay,
Like I see you have a jacket, hat.
Yeah, so I used to look not very presentable, and I had some challenges with the police like this.
Not
so
presentable, meaning
not like a bum.
Okay.
Because I had a lot of medical bills, so I wasn't spending money on wardrobe.
Okay.
So, but then I had some problems, so then I bought some nice clothes, and I still had problems. There's something in my face. Like, see, when I was growing up, I grew up in a housing complex on the northern end of Hyde Park on 47th Street. 4. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 of my neighbors were cops. Now, they were black cops, but they were still cops. I don't think there's any difference between a white cop or a black cop. So I have this, like, there must be something in my face whenever I see a cop, like it's a negative thing. Well, yeah, I mean, I grew up near 4 of them. So maybe that's why they fuck with me.
Did they mess with you when you were younger? Or who'd you grow up? It was you, your mom?
I gotta get some water, man. Let me hold on a minute.
I could pause, dude.
Oh, so here we are.
Yeah, I took a piss break. You took a little bit of a water break there. Hey, getting back. So,
am I close enough to the microphone?
Yeah. If you want, actually get a little bit closer there, where your chair is. Yeah, right on it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, man, right on it now, man.
Not gonna mess with the levels a little bit. But you were saying, hey, so going back, so your favorite country, what'd you like about India? So how long you were in India for a year?
India is absolutely amazing, but also Brazil. I have a love-hate relationship with Brazil.
Okay, so when's the first? How old were you the first time you went to Brazil?
Oh man,
This is
I must
when
have
you
been in my
were-
younger 20s.
Okay.
And I loved it back then. Like I just love everything about Brazil, but I also hate it. I have more of like, whereas Mexico, I have a healthier relationship with Mexico. You know,
Mexico's Mexico. It's
México
there.
lindo querido, si me muero lejos de ti, diga que estoy dormido y me traiga a ti. Yo adoro Mexico.
Sí.
I love Mexico. But you know the thing about Mexico is I love Mexico, I don't hate Mexico. Brazil, I love and hate Brazil at the same time.
Okay.
I love Brazil more than I love Mexico, but I also hate Brazil too. You know, I don't hate Mexico.
What are some of the things that you like about Brazil?
Like, okay, I love the Amazonas. Like trees, endless trees. Like where I worked in Dutch Harbor, Alaska, no trees.
No.
Whereas in Amazonas, Mexico, man, lots of trees. Plus, you go everywhere on a boat. You can go to Colombia on a boat. You can go to Peru on a boat. You can take the boat to the coastline. You don't go nowhere in a car. The roads don't go nowhere except, ironically, Venezuela. You can't go to the rest of Brazil in car. In the map, there's officially a road there, but the road, it's no good. You go everywhere on a boat. There's like thousands of boats in front of Manaus, where I was living.
What's Manaus?
Manaus
That's a
is the
city?
biggest city in Amazonas, where I was living.
Okay.
And there's just thousands of boats. And I love boats. I love water. I love port. And that's why I love trees. I love everything about the Amazonas, man.
Okay, and then what was the name of the city you were in again?
Manaus. It's
Manaus.
right in the middle of the Amazon rainforest.
This is a smaller city or something? It's in the middle of the rainforest.
It's 2 million people in the middle of the rainforest.
Really?
And now from my balcony, there was only like 7 trees on the city side of the city that I could see from my balcony. And there used to be 11, but they chopped down 5 of them. But on the other side of the river from my balcony, a zillion trees. I also like the people. Now Brazil right now is in real hard times.
Yeah.
But man,
Why is that? When I was reading it, the last few years, they got I don't want to get too political, but from what I saw or from what I was reading in the last few years, they got taken over by kind of more socialist leaning people. Is that? And then it was more government control, and then it caused a lot of issues from my readings. And then now I don't know, they're trying to reverse that a little bit.
this is what happened.
Okay.
The so-called left in Brazil said a bunch
Ripped everybody off. Okay, go ahead.
From my point of view, from my experience, see, I was there in Brazil under right-wing governments, so-called left-wing governments, more right-wing governments. I've been to Brazil 8 times over the space of decades.
Okay.
And no matter who's in power in Brazil, the rich people are filthy rich. The working people work all week long and oftentimes have very little to show for the fact that they work very hard. So what happens is the left-wingers tell you a bunch of left-wing sounding rhetoric. The right-wingers tell you a bunch of right-wing rhetoric. But what doesn't change is that the rich people stay very rich and the working people stay poor. So what happened last time I was there when it switched? I mean, it just doesn't matter whether you have a fake left government that's using a bunch of socialist rhetoric. It's not socialism. It's capitalism. It's just capitalism with left-wing rhetoric. Like Bernie
So you're
Sanders.
anti-capitalism, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm pro. I think we're complete opposite there. I'm very on that side. I think you're on the other side. Have you always when you were younger in college? When did you start leaning that way? Was it always been that way? You think maybe growing up in Chicago? Because look, I grew up very liberal. And then something around 18, I started listening to certain. Honestly, you know what? I started listening to it made me go to the other side. Was fucking Mancow. Mancow was the first person I listened to. Well, I didn't realize it was kind of right wing ideas. And then I heard it, and I was like, I never heard of that type of thinking because I went to public school, so everything's very left wing. And I'm more kind of libertarian now, but I remember Mancow as a little fucking 18 or 17. I was like, I'm not thinking because he's talking about there's people, there's boobs and things. I'm distracted, but then And then he's talking about other stuff, and it was the first time it opened my eyes to there was like, oh, there's a different way of thinking, and then that's when that was my first time being open, to I don't want to say red pilled, but to make my current kind of leanings or something like that. But it was fucking man, it was Manka. I know it sounds silly, but it was Manka who opened my eyes to that. And then, but you said you were always, let's say,
No,
I don't want to say more left leaning, but more, because I heard you do this bit at the mic where I forgot what you said, but it was kind of, I don't know, it leaned very Marxist bits. It was about everybody getting maybe $17 million. Do you remember talking? Everybody be making like everybody gets a salary at $1 million or something like that. And I was like, oh, Wolf leans that way a little bit. It sounds a little bit
Marxist. It might
Marxist.
have had to do with Comcast, where I was having some trouble with Comcast because the salesman, it sounded like I was going to be paying certain amount, and then but my bill had nothing to do with what I understood I was supposed to be paying. Okay, probably shouldn't have mentioned the name of the company.
Fuck Comcast.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much.
And you know what?
Hell yeah.
And this
guy, I looked up what he made, and it was $33 million.
Okay.
And I'm like, if the guy that runs this company makes $33 million a year, then why shouldn't the bus driver who got me here safely, or the cook who prepared this food for me and didn't mess up my stomach, why shouldn't he make $33 million a year?
I don't think
but that's what my set was about.
Okay.
Now the other thing about I got all kinds of friends of all different beliefs. Right? Some of my friends they don't care about politics. Some of my friends are liberals.
I never talk
Some of my
about
friends are conservatives. Some of my friends I got every kind of friend except for Ku Klux cockroaches.
Yeah.
I can't stand.
You got to fight with I heard it on the
cockroaches.
podcast. You got to fight with some. Was it a Klan members? Was it here in Chicago or was it neo Nazis? You guys got in a fight. Where did that happen?
Okay, let me put it like this. Before, I got to be careful how I word this, but I was before.
They could have called you N lover, right?
No, that was
growing up?
that was different.
Okay,
but still, what happened was that before I was involved in before Trotskyism.
Okay.
Before
Wait, what's Trotskyism?
It's
is that left writing?
Oh man, it's like
I'm sorry, dude. I wish it was a little bit more well read, but
okay. The thing is, okay.
And I studied philosophy for a little bit
when
too in
I was
college.
a teenager.
Okay.
I was involved with a group that was kind of Maoist.
Okay.
And we marched into Market Park.
Okay.
To
see, I know
protest the Klan.
Okay.
Maoists, or these were actually former Maoists, might be a little bit crazy. So they didn't really look into the situation before they marched into Market Park. The Trotskyists said, "We are not marching into Market Park." I thought the Trotskyists were buck, but then I found out, no, the Trotskyists were right. And these Maoists, or former Maoists, or whatever they were, we were marching into Market Park. Now, the Trotskyists stopped the Klan or the neo-Nazis or whatever on the north side.
What year was this? Do you remember?
80s. They stopped the Klan or the neo-Nazis or whatever it was on the north side because the Trotskyists have brains. Maoists or former Maoists, they're just
savages.
wild.
Yeah.
We're marching into Market Park, and there was 2,000 members. I mean, not 2,000 members of the Klan, but 2,000 people there to support the Klan in Market Park.
Okay.
And there was like 200 of us. And it was not a good situation, and we had to get the hell out of there real fast. And now I understand why the Trotskyists did not go to Market Park.
Because there was 2,000 fucking Nazis. Or real Nazis. And this is in the 80s, right? Because I remember one time, I think the Klan was going to march in Waukegan, but enough people, I think, made a ruckus. Because Waukegan's based, now it's mostly Mexican. And I think it might have been like that back when I was there, where the Klan never ended up going. Did you get in a fight with one of the Nazis, or did you get hit or something that I remember?
Okay, in that park situation,
Market Park, yeah,
we were able to get out of there before we got our asses kicked.
Okay,
but growing up on the south side of Segregation City,
Chicago,
yeah,
segregated. Yeah, it's pretty. I think Milwaukee and Chicago are some of the most segregated, from what my experience, places.
And growing up, I put it like this in the other podcast. The racist white people called me N-word lover. Racist black people called me honky. And everyone else just called me fucking crazy. So my first name was honky. My middle name was fucking crazy. And my last name was N-word lover. I was honky fucking crazy N-word lover.
Honky fucking crazy N-word lover.
So I wound up like beating up some people. Also, if I was outnumbered, running away from people. But for a long time, it was just based on self-defense. Somebody might be black, they might be white. You know, they were just fucking out of their minds.
Yeah.
They were crazier than me.
Yeah.
I had to defend myself. You know, if somebody called me honky from the other side of the street, right? And they're not headed towards me, or if somebody's called me N-word lover from the other side of the street and they're not headed towards me, I ain't gonna do nothing about it.
What's the point? Avoid conflict. Yeah, what's the point?
But if somebody's headed right at me and they're saying honky or N-word lover, and it's like somebody influenced by black nationalism or white supremacy, well, and they're headed right at me, well, you know, I get nervous. You know what I mean?
I'd get nervous too. So you had a lot of scraps.
I had a whole lot of scraps growing up.
Okay.
I started fighting in kindergarten.
Oh, really? So you went to was it a mostly black school you went to?
It was a 90% black school. So kindergarten and first grade, I got
Where'd you go to school? What neighborhood?
Shoesmith, right on the north end of this neighborhood.
Okay.
So kindergarten, first grade, I had a lot of practice. By second grade, I was good. I just waited for people after school. I beat them up. They left me alone.
Okay.
Some of it was really stupid. Like there was this guy.
Oh, second grade, of course.
Let's suppose some guy's name was W. So W. He demanded, this really happened. This was stupid shit. Not all of it was about race. W.
But you're kids. Kids are insane.
Yeah. W came up to me and demanded a penny. And there were two girls sitting there. And
Give me a penny, cracker.
And he didn't even, these girls didn't even have titties yet. We're in first grade. No, we're in second grade. I was starting to get pretty good.
I hope they don't have fucking titties in first grade.
So it was like second grade. I'm sorry, because I was getting pretty good in second grade. Starting to get a pretty good box. So this guy comes up and demands a penny. I looked in my pocket. I gave him a penny.
Okay.
Every day he demanded a penny. I gave it to him. But then one day he demanded a nickel.
Oh.
Now you could buy a cookie with a nickel, and those are some good looking. You know, those are some good cookies. You know what I'm saying? So I waited for him after school and I beat him up.
Okay.
Because, you know, he demanded a nickel. It was the 1970s.
You got to stop it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take an inch. What does it give an inch? Take a mile. I don't know what it goes, but.
Yeah, man. You could buy a cookie with a nickel. You couldn't buy a cookie with a penny.
Okay.
I never did like pennies, man. I don't even know why they make these things.
So then, I forgot why. A penny costs more than its actual value, I think.
But when I was 17, I was walking down the street here in this neighborhood, on the western section of the neighborhood.
Okay.
And I was walking down the street with two of my friends, and then there was three guys about our age. We were 17, right? And then they started throwing snowballs at us. Well, we just ignored them. I think one of the snowballs hit me. I just ignored them. But by the time I was 17, I didn't want to fight unless it was necessary, because you know, now I'm older. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Then they started throwing rocks and bottles.
Oh.
So now I crossed the street to fight.
Okay.
I almost got shot.
Oh, really?
But one of my friends was good at talking. And he did not kiss.
Were these gangbangers, or back then it was just regular? There was less
tough,
gangs?
man.
Yeah.
And Hyde Park's a nice neighborhood.
Okay.
So it's not really gangs. It's just stupid shit.
Okay.
So, but like one of my friends is good at talking. So he talked, but he didn't kiss their ass. But he got it. He worked it out. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't get shot.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool, you know? But I don't. After that, plus the other incident where I wound up in jail.
Now that friend that talked, was it a black friend, white friend?
Yeah, man. We were all black except me.
Okay. Well, we were all black. So growing up, most of your friends were black growing up then, right? How many did you have white, Mexican? What this neighborhood was just white and basically black and no white? No, it's before the Mexicans came? Or
by high school, it was changing for me, but when grammar school and middle school was like this. So my friends were, whoever didn't fit in, that was in our group. We were we didn't fit.
Okay.
We were white. We were like
You're
white.
The outsiders.
We were white. Boy. We were Mexican. We were Asian. And the Asian guys were really tough. You'd be surprised how tough they were. They were the toughest guys.
Koreans or mixed or Chinese?
Me and a Filipino. I hope this doesn't sound racist.
No, I have friends with
Filipino.
Our school was a lot of Filipino friends. Yeah.
We fought off a group of black kids together. We had each other's back, and we bam. Remember, I also fought white supremacists too. But they were not in my neighborhood, but I fought white. I didn't like white supremacists, black nationalists. So, but the Filipino guy, man, he was tough, man. We fought off this group of black kids together, man. Just two of us, and there was a whole bunch of them. But anyway, because any of them came close, boom, they got it.
How'd that start? Do you remember?
I beat up a black kid.
Okay.
But they were mad about that, beat up the black kid, but I had to beat him up. It was self-defense.
Okay.
So they got mad.
So retaliation.
Well, they thought that the black guy was going to win just because he was black.
Uh-huh.
That's just melatonin.
Yeah. Now because of World Star videos, people know that's not always the case.
If I beat up black people, it's because I was around a lot of black people.
Uh-huh.
But here's the thing. So
There's no white people to beat up. They don't live in your neighborhood.
I beat up white people.
There's less white people.
Supremacists.
Yeah,
I beat up white supremacists from other neighborhoods. Because I've never been racist.
Okay.
Anyway, look, my group of friends, we were white, we were Mexican, we were Asian, and any black guy that didn't fit in. At one point, there was an African guy hanging out with us.
From Africa.
And
horrible.
Weirdest thing, they didn't like the African. So he hung out with us. There was an African dude from the Southwest. They didn't like him either. He hung out with us, you see? So we were white, we were black, we were Mexican, we were Asian. We hung out together. We were misfits. We were tough. We had to be tough, but we were never racist. Mm-hmm. We were never we were multiracial, you see?
And then so back then, people fought, except that one incident with the gun, but people would fight more, right? It was less gun violence back then. That's a more current thing, right? Gun violence down here, or the gun violence is in high. It's south. Where's the violence? I don't know the city that much. It's Southmore. We're all
in theory. The gun violence is in other neighborhoods, but actually, somebody just got shot last year. I was coming from an open mic, and a woman said to me, I'm walking through the park, and a woman with two guys, they're tough people, but they're nice tough people, right? And the woman said to me, "Hey, did you just hear gunshots?" And I just got off the bus. I hadn't heard nothing. But all I said was, "Hey, it's the South Side. If you get shot, you get shot." You know. So then the two guys are like, "Wow, that's cold." And then I see the blue sirens. I go to look, and there's like, you could see the feet sticking out from behind the car. And so, but two guys, they were taken away in an ambulance. They were injured, but one guy was dead. Now that's when this is a interracial area, right? Mm-hmm. So one guy opens up his window, a black guy, and he yells, "I'm paying too much rent for people to be getting shot on my street." That's what he said.
Okay.
And then some white people from probably Lincoln Park or something get out of their fancy car and they're walking by. Could probably go into some fancy restaurant that some of them, because this area is getting really, really gentrified.
Okay.
And so they're like, "What happened?" And I say, "Somebody just got shot. Look, you can see the feet right over there." They hurry back to Lincoln Park, I'm thinking, great. I don't care whether they're white or black. I want the super yuppies to move out. We were already gentrified. We don't need to be more gentrified. The rent's just going up and up and up.
What's the makeup of this neighborhood?
It's equal parts white and black.
Equal parts.
That's what I like about this.
Has this always been like that, or is it because this is Obama's place, isn't it? Not Obama's place, but doesn't he have a library here in Hyde Park?
Nobody wants that damn library.
Did they already build it, or are they building it?
No, man. Nobody wants the library. It's just going to make the rent go up. The black people don't even want the library.
But they haven't built it, right?
Who wants the library are white capitalists that are buying up all the land around
all the property,
here and jacking up
the
rent. So and some black nationalists. So it's like some black nationalists.
Should I buy property here?
So some black nationalists are pushing the Obama Center, and they're in league with white capitalists. Nobody else wants it. Black people, white people, we don't want our rents to go up. Our rent is too damn high.
See
this closet? I'm paying $1,000 a month for this closet.
$1,000, yeah. We're in a studio. Is this a studio apartment? Yeah.
So
if it gets, what's your move? If it gets, have you looked at other neighborhoods? If it gets too high here, or you don't want to leave the neighborhood? You grew up, so
I don't want to leave.
You were born in Chicago. You were born.
I don't want to leave my neighborhood. Look, this neighborhood is racially integrated, and outside this neighborhood,
no, it's not. Yeah, it's not.
Outside this neighborhood is segregation city.
Yeah, you're right.
I've been to over 50 countries on this planet, and Chicago is the most segregated place I've ever seen. Hyde Park.
Would you say Milwaukee's second? Milwaukee's pretty bad too. It's funny. Like when I go to the South, white people, black people, even when I go to Milwaukee and Mike's in certain clubs, over here, there's the North Side, and then there's the South Side, and then it's weird. I mean, I grew up maybe used to it, but you go to other places, other cities, like it's mixed. It's mixed, except for I think Chicago, Milwaukee.
And that's what I like about Hyde Park, is that you have white and black people living together, because I don't want to be living in an all-white place. Like, look, there is, I'm not going to say where it's happening, but there's a so-called comedy open mic on the north side where there's a group of predominantly white so-called comedians, and they're chanting race war, and they're reciting racial slurs on stage, and that's on the white side of Segregation City. They say it's ironic. No, there's nothing ironic about it. It's a bunch of white people on the white side of Segregation City chanting race war and reciting racial slurs at a so-called comedy open mic. I'm not going to say which one. And I don't want to be around those kind of people.
I feel like I've been at that mic.
We're not going to say which one it is.
I'm not.
But I don't want to live around those kind of people. I spit on Ku Klux cockroaches. I don't want nothing to do with them. And I'm not really interested in being the shock troops of gentrification moving into a black neighborhood, right? Because the black people need their own neighborhoods. So I should stay here in Hyde Park. But unfortunately, the super yuppies are super gentrifying our neighborhood. So where am I going to live?
Where would you want to go? How old are you, Wolf?
I'm 52.
52.
I got to stop traveling. I got medical problems. I need to stay in my own neighborhood.
Okay.
These super yuppies, they should crawl back to the rat holes. I don't know. They should go back. I don't care whether they're Republican or Democrat. If they're Republican super yuppies, let them go live in Donald Trump's anus. And if they're Democratic super yuppies, let them go live in Barack Obama's anus. Let these super yuppies get out of our neighborhood.
Do you vote?
No, because it's like Democratic doo-doo or Republican poo-poo. That's why I'm running for president.
Yeah, Wolf is. I'm gonna take a picture of you, Wolf. I took one earlier, but yeah, let's.
Hell yeah!
I'll put up.
Stand up.
Wolf Larson. Yeah, Wolf Larson. So you're wearing a Wolf Larson for president. Wolf Larson for president, 2020.
LARSEN, right?
LARSEN.
By the way, I'm on Facebook at Wolf Larson 69. That's WOLFLARSEN 69. Just, and I got, if you type in Wolf Larson books on Amazon, that's where I am. I'm sorry, shameless plug. So
no, and I'm gonna link. I'm gonna link everything when I release this.
I'm running for president.
What's your platform, Wolf?
I take out my Polish sausage, and
You're Polish?
No.
Okay.
I'm a mix. I'm a mutt. I'm like all these different European races, all just fucking each other.
Okay.
I'm part Jewish. I'm part Catholic. I'm part everything.
Okay.
But the thing is, I take out my kosher meat. Then it's like at least half kosher, right? I take out my kosher meat, and I just piss all over the Democrats and the Republicans, because the Republicans, they're honest with you when they tell you that they're a bunch of reactionary bourgeois pigs, but the Democrats tell you pretty words, but after they get elected, they pretty much do the same as the Democrats.
Yeah.
I mean, the Republicans. Democrats, after they get elected, they pretty much do the same as Republicans. Democrats tell you pretty words, but after they get elected, they do the same as Republicans.
How do you feel about this new? How do you feel about libertarians?
I agree with libertarians on some things, and I disagree with them on others. Now, some of my best friends are libertarians or Democrats or Republicans. I got all kinds of friends except Ku Klux cockroaches.
Hey, what are these? I've been watching these posts on Instagram. I haven't read this stuff. Anarcho-capitalists? What are they? Are they like
narco-capitalists?
A narco-capitalist or something? If you don't know about it, it's fine.
I don't know nothing about that.
Okay, I'll look into it a little bit more. But
I like libertarian positions.
They seem like libertarians, but I don't know, more revolutionary.
Libertarians are right on the money when it comes to like, hey, legalize drugs, and they're for your civil liberties most of the time, and I like that about libertarians. What I don't like about libertarians is this. If you have a heart attack and you can't afford medical care, you die.
Yeah.
That's the way libertarianism works.
It works. I think this is how they see it. Okay, if we follow libertarian free market policies, healthcare wouldn't be as expensive. So if you had a heart attack, it wouldn't be, I think how they see it is healthcare, school, things are so expensive because government's involved. It just makes everything super expensive. So it'd be affordable and preventative. I'm just saying, I think that's what the theory is. And they'll say, hey, there's charity, there's private people. They're like, basically, and I don't want to say it'll work itself out, but it'll find a way. Like somebody will help pay for that. There's, community, church, things like that.
So look, if you work for a living, you work and you work and you work and you work. you should get free quality medical care.
Okay.
Free quality child care. Because look, if you just leave it libertarian, then you have one woman looking after one kid. Whereas if you have socialism, real socialism, you've got one person or two people looking after 20 kids. So that means that's 18 women that can work. Maybe they can drive a forklift. Maybe they can operate a crane, and we can build more affordable housing. We can build rapid transit. So if you just do it libertarian, everyone jumps in their car. You have huge traffic jams. You don't have any rapid transit. You don't have any medical care. You can't afford it.
I think, I think the opposite. I think when you say free healthcare, I think what's going to happen, I think the same thing happens with everything else where the government gets involved. It's like look at Social Security. It gets bloated, and it just, I don't know. To me, it doesn't work. I've always been like, I want less government. I feel like government and bureaucrats and any central piloting stuff. I just think you're giving power to these people that are gonna, I don't know, fuck you over. So I want to leave it to kind of individuals to figure it out amongst themselves. And I think that's usually better. But quick, your Wolf Larson 69 was that your Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay, so you
LARSEN.
you had sex with over, we didn't, I don't know, we brushed this over, but you had sex with over 486 women, right? Because
480
I don't count blowjobs.
And not putting money in their hands. Not putting money in their hands. Not buying them expensive gifts.
You've paid for sex before. I have. I used to be a John. I used to be a heavy John. But
No,
really. Fuck. I feel like a loser.
Don't pay for it. I mean, well, look, wait a minute. I'm a loser in Chicago. I'm not in demand.
Okay.
I got blonde hair and blue eyes where I used to have blonde hair, right? So I don't get laid in Chicago.
No.
Where do I get laid? Outside of Chicago, outside of the Midwest. You see, I get laid where I look different. So anyway, look, it's like this. I'm talking 500 women without putting money in their hands, without buying them expensive gifts, and without lying to them. But we're not talking
without lying. How'd you pull that off? Well, hold on. Let me tell you more about this.
The only time I lied was if they asked me, "Do you have a girlfriend?" I might lie about that.
Okay.
I don't tell them no lies. And but the thing is, I try to be as nice as possible. Maybe I kiss their ass a bit. I don't know. Nice as possible. Sometimes I didn't even take them out to dinner. But I was very nice to them, and and I always wore a condom if they asked me to. Okay, just whatever they want. Just keep them happy. You know what I mean? If I got to put
Do you
my
have
tongue,
any kids?
of course.
Okay. I mean, after 500, I would get.
If I got to put my tongue somewhere to get them happy, I do whatever I got to do to make them happy. Whatever gets them to say yes. And we're not talking about beauty queens.
Okay.
But the thing is, there's a respect for women involved because sometimes women get horny. They want sex. They think you look good. I don't look good in Chicago, apparently. That's fine. But the thing is to treat women nice and make them feel comfortable. Give them what they want. Now, I can't give them money, but I can give them a tongue. And put the tongue where they want it. You know?
Where was your... You have a love-hate relationship with Brazil. Is that where your favorite women went? Or India? Or where... Did you have a preference?
I did not get laid in India because if I was for me to get laid in India, I would have had to pay for it.
Really? Why do you why is that? I don't know a lot about India. Is it the culture? They don't fuck with white people?
No, man. The women liked white men. They like blonde hair and blue-eyed white men. But the thing about India is that it's different. Okay, you're supposed to marry and then have sex, or you go to a prostitute. Interesting thing about India. India had a 1% HIV rate, and Brazil had a 1% HIV rate. Why?
That's low, right?
1%, meaning 1 out of every 100 people.
Is that low or high?
It's pretty high.
Oh, really?
Same as the United States. United States, 1%.
Okay.
So the thing is, why is it so high in India? The reason is because a young man, not married yet, how are you going to get laid?
Prostitutes.
Because
you're frowned upon if you had sex with somebody who, out of marriage sex was not a prostitute. Oh, okay.
But if women don't want to have sex with me, that's fine. I got my right hand, no problem. I got my right hand. I estimate that I've masturbated between 40 to 60,000 times in my lifetime.
What does that come out to a year? Do you know?
Well, back when I was younger, it was probably more like 2,000 times a year.
Okay.
But now that I'm older, it's down to 1,000.
Okay.
And probably started around 13. So it might be, I don't know.
I don't even know where I'm at. There's times where I stop. Like I do it for Lent. I'm not religious, but I usually, this is my new thing. I stop for Lent. But
You
I
stop for Lent?
Yeah, what did I stop for? I forgot. But this year I'm gonna not for Lent. I'm not gonna have sex, or I'm not gonna masturbate. The mistake I made is I was like, I'm not masturbating, but I did have sex with a few women, which I shouldn't have. I feel because then afterwards I was like extra like, man, I need it. And then I slept with a woman that I probably shouldn't have, but I was just kind of fiending, so I did it. But I want to try. It was like, I don't know. You smoke cigarettes?
I used to smoke I used to smoke all kinds of things, but I'm not smoking anything at the moment.
Okay, well, I used to smoke cigarettes, and when I would stop smoking, the first few days you stop smoking, it's like you're feeding it. But after there's a point, I don't know, day 5 or 7, same thing with masturbating. It kind of went away, and your mind cleared, and I was like, whoa. So that's why I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it against. I'm gonna do it again this Lent. But I like that. So India, no women. But it was your favorite country. The food,
It's the most.
people.
Oh, the everything about India is wonderful.
Well,
I mean,
what were you
it's just
doing
a
in it?
hard.
So you had money because you worked on the docks, so you didn't have to work in India, right? What would you do? Like, what was like what you'd wake up, you travel, like what was your like a typical day in India for you?
The first time I went to India, I was just like going from place to place, right? And try to take the train from destination to destination. The trains
Is that the train I
are
see
amazing.
on a bunch of people on them? I see in the movies. Is that realistic? Where people are on top of the trains, or is that just something you see on TV? Where the trains
did
are
not.
so full.
I rode on top of the trains in Ecuador.
Okay.
Not in India. I did ride on top of the buses in India.
Okay.
That was amazing.
All right.
I think I nearly died doing that in India. But then I figured out when to duck. And I've nearly died a bunch of times. But yeah, I'm a little bit worse for wear. But yeah,
So you get in India. All right, India. You're on the train. You get up. Where did you stay?
When I was traveling around, I'd just stay in affordable. Well, India's very affordable.
Okay.
But the second time I was in India, I stayed in Calcutta. I stayed in a hotel. It turned out to be like $150 a month for the hotel in Kolkata in 2005.
That's inexpensive, right? That sounds inexpensive to me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very inexpensive.
But
right?
see, it's rupees.
Okay.
It was 55 rupees to the dollar. Right now, I hear it's even more.
Okay.
So the thing is, see, when you go abroad, depending upon what country you go to, your dollar is stronger. So you have a better standard of living.
Okay.
So, a lot of times I didn't put money into a woman's hand. I did take them out to dinner. If they wanted me to take them out to dinner, I took them out to dinner.
Okay.
You know, I did whatever I needed. I wanted them to be happy. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you married?
Yes.
Okay, you are married. Okay.
I am married, but I'm married I'm not married in the United States. I'm married somewhere else.
Okay.
I married in South America. I came back to the United States because of medical problems. I miss my wife very, very much. My wife was very understanding. I shouldn't.
Is this in Brazil or is this?
Yes.
Okay.
Shouldn't talk too much,
That's fine.
about her because then that involves her. But she has very, liberal en el sentido español. ¿Me entiende?
Yo hablo español, sí.
Yeah. Pero usted entiende liberal en el sentido español.
Okay.
O de portugués también.
Portugués no sé.
Yeah. But that's liberal, like my. I don't know if I should talk about all this stuff, but my wife was very understanding that I would not be faithful.
Okay.
And I was very understanding that she would not be faithful.
Okay.
We knew each other for years before we got married.
How'd you guys meet? In Brazil,
And we met in Brazil.
You got at a bar, a restaurant.
No, I wouldn't meet a
store.
woman. I would not meet a woman
No,
in Brazil
right.
in a bar. Because that
Where'd you meet women? Like, where were you?
anywhere but in the bar.
Okay, so
In the bar, you're gonna meet a prostitute.
Where'd you? Oh, really? Okay, where'd you meet your wife? Where were you? Like, you were out
I met her.
at
I
the
met her.
market.
I met her in the street.
Okay, so you just walk in. You saw her. Do you approach her?
I just said hi.
You just said hi,
Yeah.
and then in
Well, I
English,
didn't-
Portuguese.
Português. Eu falo português muito bem.
Okay, so
But-
you just said hi to her in Portuguese.
Yeah.
You're just walking. She's walking across from you, or what? And you just said hi, and then what? You guys hung out that day, or you see her? Because this is there's no cell phones at the time. Or
Yeah, there were cell phones.
okay, so this is okay. So there was cell
But
phones.
I never met I only met a woman online once.
Okay.
Every time, all the other women I met in person.
Okay.
But yeah. See, this was also time, I think it was also before social media, when I was meeting all these women. And I think sometimes women they're just really horny. So they couldn't really get off on social media or something, or meet a guy on social media. Like they would just be horny. And then I'd just be there and I'd just be really nice and just not creep them out. I mean, you know.
Right place, right time.
Yeah, just be nice. Try to dress decently. I'm not dressed decently now, but I would dress decently, you know. And I would dress in such a way like I'm not going to mug you, but I'm not rich.
Okay.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Shirt with a collar,
Oh.
but not with some fancy insignia.
No.
Because you don't want to attract the wrong kind of woman.
Yeah.
I remember like I was on a date one time with this absolutely beautiful woman, a beautiful black woman. I'll leave the name of the country out of it. It was not Brazil. Beautiful woman, nice personality.
Why do you want to leave the country out?
I just will.
Okay, that's fine.
Beautiful woman, nice personality. I'm on this date with her. And pretty quickly I figured out I don't want to get involved with this woman because she's too beautiful.
Too much maintenance, too much. You have to fight other men off, or what? What was your concern?
Too many problems.
Okay,
I would rather have
I get it.
an ugly woman than a beautiful woman. Now, she was a nice person. I'm not criticizing her. I'm just saying, not for me.
What are some of the problems you don't want to deal with? Because I see where you're coming from.
Every problem imaginable was in the future.
Were you with a beautiful woman before and you dealt with the issues?
A married businessman bought one of my girlfriends a car. And instead of thinking about, wow, this could really be great, maybe I could open up a car dealership. But instead of thinking like that, I got kind of jealous. But I also got kind of realistic. I was with a very attractive woman. The sex was phenomenal.
What country is this?
I'd rather leave the name of that country out too.
Okay.
So, and she started to buy me things and pay for our dinner. And
this is from this.
yeah, and
We'll
she,
call him a sugar daddy. Is he older?
yeah, so now she's starting to not maintain me, but buy me things. In in Latin America, the woman doesn't pay for dinner.
Nah.
The man pays for dinner.
yeah.
El hombre se invita.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind, but the money's coming from somewhere. It wasn't her salary. That's fine. Look, you just gotta. I got too jealous. Maybe I should have stayed with her. Maybe I'd be living pretty good right now if I had. She was a nice person.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm Mexican. I have pride, and it's like I don't think I could deal with that. Maybe I don't know. I think at one point I'd be like, "Look, man, nah, this dude. We're not gonna have this dude buying you cars." It's like I'm out. I couldn't deal with it. So
Yo soy un gringo latinizado, entonces yo puedo entender eso.
Sí,
I'm a
sí.
Latinized gringo. I completely understand where you're coming from.
yeah, I could.
My dick made a lot of decisions for me.
That's a problem I have. That's a problem. But I don't drink anymore. But that's a problem I had. But now I've chilled out. I think no. After this, I'm probably gonna go make some bad decisions. But I haven't in months. But we'll see. I don't really drink anymore. So maybe I'll be able to control myself. But I don't know. I'll see.
Yeah, some things I learned was avoid women crazier than me. I'm pretty crazy already.
Okay.
No women crazier than me.
Okay, that's a good.
If I get a
Let me
call-
write that down. No women crazier. Wow, listen to it. That's good. I didn't think about that.
And
Oh
then
man.
I almost got raped.
Maybe I should talk to the
I
girl.
I almost got raped by a woman one time. Like she would come over and she was really strong. Like she would lift stuff in the back of the store where she was working.
Eastern Europe or something.
No. In Brazil.
Okay.
Now, by this time, I had medical problems.
Okay.
I was not the strong dock worker anymore. So I let her come over late at night. Bad decision. Do not let women come over really late at night. She came over, and then this time she was drunk, and she started handling me really rough. She threw me on the bed, and this was perhaps the only time in my adult life where I physically threatened a woman. I said, get out of here or I'm going to defend myself. Sai daqui, eu vou defender eu mesmo, eu vou pegar, porque você, eu tenho problema médico, I have medical problems. She's like throwing me on the bed. She's going to just stuck me against my will. I'm just she's smelling of drink.
CB4. Have you ever seen the movie CB4 with Chris Rock? No.
No.
Okay.
But
there's a woman manhandles Chris Rock and basically fucks him. But continue. Yeah.
I'd love to manhandle Chris Rock and fuck him if he would like me to. I mean, I think Chris Rock would look
Get
really,
some of the
really
funny. Maybe get some of the yeah.
Chris Rock would look so good in a red dress and red lipstick. I often have fantasies of fucking Chris Rock, but only if he's dressed up as a woman. I think black men in dresses are really hot, but white men in dresses are hot too.
Did you see? You know, Chappelle would never dress as a woman because he thought Hollywood would always dress up black men as women to demasculate black men. So he was, I don't know if you saw that, it was an interview with him and the guy from something. God, am I stupid? The guy from something, but he wouldn't do it because, like, you know what? Strong black men, they always dress him, they're trying to demasculate him. So he thought it was part of, conspiracy. Not conspiracy, but something like that.
Chappelle is too ugly for me to fuck him. But I think the thing is, for me, like I can understand how a black man would feel that way, but I'm thinking with my penis, and a black man or a white man in a dress. In fact, I saw in the Mercado in Guadalajara, Mexico.
Hey, Guadalajara. My mom's from Jalisco. Shout out to Jalisco, Guadalajara.
Ojos zapatillos, right? So I saw this transvestite, and I said, in the Mercado in Guadalajara, and I said, las mujeres más bonitas son hombres. The most beautiful women are men. And he smiled. I wanted to. So really, brown, white, or black. But I prefer men in dresses. I prefer feminine men. I don't like masculine men. Chris Rock isn't really very masculine.
He's a skinny motherfucker. Yeah, he's skinny as fuck. No, that's.
And he's like, and I would, if I were black, I would never trust Chris Rock. Chris Rock says he would join the black auxiliary of the Ku Klux Cockroaches. Can you imagine Chris Rock showing up dressed in a white sheet with like 100 other black people showing up to the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan? If you're black, you can't trust black people like that. You know what I'm saying? That say that they would lynch N-words for the Ku Klux Klan.
He said that?
Yeah, Chris Rock said he would join the Ku Klux Klan to lynch N-words because when he's talking about N-words, he's talking about a particular kind of black person. He's talking about a particular kind of black person.
If people don't know, it's black people versus N-words. One of I don't know. I think it's one of the best bits of all time. I guess it's. Well, I grew up when I saw Bring the Pain. I think that's from Bring the Pain. We had a black box, and that's one of the specials that, as a kid, I was like, whoa. It was him. One of my influences was Chris Rock, Carlin, who I'd watch because I had HBO. So it was Chris Rock, Carlin, and then there was all these young comics from like Comedy Central, from A-List, but Chris Rock and that bit. I just sent that bit to my friends a week ago because they didn't know about it. They didn't know about that.
I'm sure I'm not the only one to think, hey, is his middle name Smoking? Chris Smoking Rock. See, because it's always, I live in Hyde Park. So there's always, I respect 80% of black people. I respect 80% of white people. But there's always somebody.
In every race.
And there's always some black people. And I know a few of them on the north side of Chicago.
I know a lot of Hondurans
who will betray the black people, just to get a few more. Like let's suppose you're a black person, and you're doing a bit that the white supremacists like, and you're crushing it with the white supremacists in the audience as a black comedian. Why are you crushing it with the white supremacists in the audience? Maybe you should ask yourself, this is not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? But going back to Chris Rock,
yes and
no. Well, I don't want to crush it with white supremacists. I don't like white supremacists.
But I'd like to know what the bit is and why they like, because it's, I don't know. I think it can get a little bit more complicated there. But we're running a little bit at a time. Wolf, all right, before we get out of here, anything you want to promote? And Wolf Larson for president. What's your platform? Wolf Larson for president 2020. He's wearing the shirt right now.
I wipe my ass with both the Democratic and the Republican parties. If I win, my only promise is that I will immediately resign. My whole object in running is to take my dick out and piss all over Washington, D.C., piss all over Springfield, piss all over City Hall. I don't care whether the politicians are white, black, or space alien, or male, or female, or liberal, or conservative, or Democrat, or Republican. all these capitalist politicians should go work at McDonald's.
All right, you guys heard that from Wolf Larson. Go to McDonald's, and then what's? I'll put it up there. But what's? It's Wolf. What was your Facebook? What's all your social media?
Yeah, my Facebook is Wolf Larson 69. WOLFLARSEN 69. Facebook already blocked me one time for putting up Burt Reynolds naked. You know, with his hand over his.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, and Facebook banned me.
Facebook.
You never know when I'm going to get banned.
They flagged a motherfucking a flyer of a show I had last week. It was me, Joey V, Abby, just a regular flyer. Hey, come here. Fucking flagged my shit. Fuck Facebook. Fuck you, Mark. And then the books.
Lick my balls, Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg, lick my balls.
And the books. Promote some of the books. So. Okay, let's promote. Okay, there's a funny book, maybe 3 different books and 3 different styles. Promote them. I'll put the links up
so there's
when I release this.
Pricks, Cunts, and Motherfuckers, and that is conventional writing, and it's very funny and very blunt. It's funny the first 3 quarters. Pricks, Cunts, and Motherfuckers.
Pricks, Cunts, and Motherfuckers.
A novel about New York City. Then there's 10,000 Penises in Your Ear, and that's very bizarre.
Sounds like a rap song.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Wu-Tang, 10,000 pennies in your ear. But that one,
that's really bizarre. That's not conventional.
Okay.
And then what else? And then there's the Genital Herpes National Anthem.
The Genital Herpes National Anthem.
And that's really easy to read and very funny.
So remember, the very easy to read Genital Herpes National Anthem. Okay, this is Wolf Larson. This is Giovanni. On my social media is Lobo9110, LOBO9110. This is the Lobo Den. And Wolf, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, man, it's been fun.
All right, guys, it was fun. Thank you.